Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. Ito si Kristan at ngayong podcast natin, pag-uusapan natin yung mga maiinit na topic sa mundo ng politika at ang daming pag-uusapan ngayon. Kaya inimbita ko ang mga commentators ng dalawang henerasyon. Yung isa yung para sa mga kabataan, yung isa naman ay yung susunod doon bago sa akin. Welcome Mark Gamboa and TikToker Gabe Pineda.
Good to have.
Yeah.
Be back, good to be back.
Millennials na.
Millennials ka ba? Millennial. Di ba ikaw millennials?
Millennial ako.
Yung ba tawag sa inyo?
Younger millennial, older Gen Z.
Oh, wow, may mga ganun.
Millennial.
Ako baby boomer. so,
Gen X.
Gen X, oo nga, no? Pero alam mo, no, sa napansin ko ngayon sa nangyayari sa politika, I think all generations ngayon are becoming more aware, no, kung ano yung mga nangyayari sa mundo natin, sa bansa natin.
I think we're heading towards the right direction din when it comes to that. Kasi when I started posting more on Meta, on Facebook, Instagram, most of my audience there that comments are the woke titos and titas, which I'm very glad to see din.
Wow, okay. Pero sa'yo, Mark, napansin mo ba mga kabataan ba normally nakikinig sa'yo or yung mga mas matatanda?
And above, yeah.
30 above.
Yeah.
Yung mga audience na nanonood. Tapos mga OFWs, mga so usually nasa ganun.
Talaga, kasi nabanggit ko nga dati na yung sa akin naman mga senior citizens. Oo.
Yeah, mga ganun naman. Halo.
Palagi nga pag lumalabas ako, pag may nakita ako, kung may mga senior citizens, sabihin nila, "Uy, Chris, kumusta?" Ganun. Like, oh, wow. Or pag bata yun, pinapanood ka ng tatay ko. Or pinapanood ka ng lolo ko. Ganun.
Siguro sa platform kasi, pag yung mga long form siguro
Yes.
na about politics, yung mga...
Natsyatsaga ng... I think it has to do
Tiyatsaga.
something with their attention span din.
Oh.
I think.
Yes.
Kaya mas matatanda yung audience sa YouTube kasi kaya nilang manood ng mas matagal.
Yes, so
Compared sa-
that I'm hoping that the kids will be able to do as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, pag-usapan natin guys, ang daming issues ngayon.
dami.
Unang-una, gusto ko lang malaman yung thoughts nyo kasi dito. Si Risa Hontiveros recently inattack ng mga trolls ng mga DDS trolls. At yung pag-attack sa kanya ay dahil dun nga sa yung pagbaliktad nung kanyang witness for Kibuloy in the Senate hearing.
Yeah.
Ano masasabi nyo doon? Siguro ikaw muna, Gabe. Anong tingin mo sa nangyari doon?
I think generally speaking, there's nothing new with what's going on with Senri. Kasi syempre, kapag may mga malakas talagang opposition, kagaya ni Senri, we've seen it before. Happened to Senator Laila De Lima. Tapos we're seeing it again happening now. I guess what I can say about it is, what I like about it is that Senri is actually fighting it head on.
Yeah.
I think I would say one of the things that I didn't like about now Mayor Leni Robredo was that before, dahil sobrang niyang goal-oriented, she didn't really take notice of the things that were being thrown at her, which I guess she should have had. And I think kayang-kaya naman siyang i-combat before, but I guess dahil nga sobrang niyang focus sa goal niya, ng ginagawa niya, she didn't really pay attention, which I love about Senri ngayon. Na kahit naman talagang relentless yung mga yan eh. They're not gonna stop unless they assassinate her character.
Yes.
Sa public. I think that's where their expertise lies in the grand scheme of things. Pero para sa akin, I like that she's, tackling it head on kahit punong-puno. I think times 10 na yata yung mga bashers than what she gets from a normal basis.
Pero interesting how sinabi mo, ina-assassinate yung character. Buti character lang, ano? Kasi dati, hindi lang character ina-assassinate. They literally assassinate you, di ba?
I think one of the things that we should take focus on, kaya ginagawa nila yung character assassination, kasi people are more aware and inclined with political happenings now. That's why they can't easily do that anymore. Yung ginagawa nila. So they do it in a very subtle manner since interdisciplinary kasi yan eh. Kakulangan sa informasyon. Siyempre, tatargetin talaga dyan yung mga vulnerable na walang kaalam-alam sa literacy on social media. Pangalawa, comprehension skills ng mga Filipino. We rank almost last sa
PISA.
PISA
Yes.
when it comes to comprehension. So they take information at face value. So that's still, yun pa rin yung playbook nila. Unfortunately for them, I would say I'm looking at the silver lining of things. I think last election was proof that people are learning. And if they don't change their game plan and they, rely heavily on what they're doing now and not change anything until the next election, I think it's not gonna work. Kasi unang-una, I would love to speak for the youth that I think we have a strong pull and influence on our parents. Kasi kahit na we have a mind of our own, I think like what we talked about from the last podcast, there were so many 11th hour votes that came from the youth and their parents. So
Okay.
it's such a intersectional issue para sa akin.
Okay. Sige, before I get to Mark's opinion on this, and I just wanna mention lang ano yung nasabi mo, na with regards to the difference between Lenny at Risa, kasi sa akin naman, tingin ko, hindi sa parang, hindi sa binaliwala niya.
Yeah,
Kundi, ano yan it's more of a, hindi niya na-realize, I think, that time, gaano ka-importante yung social media war.
That's such a good
Yung
way to put it.
yung how to battle social media. At I think Lenny has, she has such a nice nature about her na parang, hindi, wag mo na lang pansinin yan. Wag na natin patulan yan kasi hindi tayo ganyan. Pero I think that's where the difference was. At ngayon, even now, nakita naman natin, tingin mo, yung difference with how we handle social media and how people respond. Remember, before 2022, nobody wanted to parang lumaban sa social media. Nasa-stress sa mga tao, quiet na lang tayo, and that's why it propagated all the
Exactly.
fake news. After 2022 is when things change. Napansin nyo yun, di ba?
Totoo yun.
So yun yung tingin kong biggest difference. So, tama yung opinion mo with Lenny and versus Risa. And, I think those were the dynamics and that's why now it's different.
And if I may butt in, Kuya, I think it's highly consistent with what her staff is saying. Kasi we recently went to Angat Buhay in Museo ng Pag-asa. We hosted an event there. And they were actually saying the same thing na I think Ma'am Lenny wasn't actually aware of how, like the magnitude.
Yes.
And
Gaano kalalim yung
kalalim yung roots ng social
Disinformation
media,
and
ng disinformation that I think was heavily tied with her personality na hayaan nyo na lang. Hindi
Right.
naman natin kailangan pansinin yan. Trabaho lang tayo.
Pero Mark, 'di ba? Ikaw, I mean, you've been in social media and you do a lot of social media content officially and unofficially. Anong take mo dito?
Ako we were all shocked kung paano na weaponize yung social media nila Duterte noon I started political vlogging mga 2018, 2019. At that time, yun na nang napansin ko kaagad na ang daming mga YouTube channels na, kasi I started with YouTube, ang daming mga YouTube na mga DDS.
Nagsilabasan.
Nagsilabasan ng mga fake news, pero wala masyado doon sa side ng Pink.
Yeah. Actually, wala.
Halos
talaga.
wala. So from that time, yun na yung advocacy ko noon. That's when I met Richard, Darian. Sinasabi ko nga, bakit I was saying doon sa Pink na side na this could be lucrative also This could be kasi pag sa YouTube may kita ka And
Yes.
of course there's an audience for people who support the Liberal Party. At that time, wala pang Pink noon. So hanggang dumami, tapos nagkaroon ng mga vloggers na nga that side ngayon, mga katulad nila Gabe. So maganda din ako na kumbaga mas tumatapang din. Siguro that time may halong
Takot.
takot
Yeah.
na din.
Exactly, yeah.
Kasi
And even now, actually, Kuya, meron pa
Meron pa rin,
It's
no?
not really completely eliminated.
strategy nila yun na they will parang abuse and they will throw mga mumurahin kanila, threaten kanila
Induce
just
fear.
to keep you silent.
Yeah.
Yun nga yung sinasabi ko ginagawa nila yan to make you shut up, to make you silent para sa kanila lang yung naririnig. So ngayon tumatapang na yung mga kabataan, tumatapang na yung mga content creators, and I think there's still ang laki pa rin ng
Gap.
pwedeng kumbaga mga bagong creators sa Pink side. Ang laking opportunity pa rin. Na kasi for many vloggers, marami full-time na kumikita na from vlogging, kumikita na from AdSense and all that. So sa Pink side, I think nakita naman sa content nila Richard, nila Christian Esguerra, sa TikTok mo na merong audience talaga for that kind of content.
Yes.
Kaya merong opportunity para mas dumami. Kasi ganun yung nangyayari sa kabila nai-incentivize yung mga mga maliliit na vloggers nila. Kasi pag sabihin mo lang bad things about Lenny o bad things about Risa, ipa-flock, susundan ka ng mga viewers ng mga DDS, susundan ka ng mga lalaki yung channel mo, kikita ka. So parang nai-incentivize sila na gumawa ng suportahan si Duterte. I think you can do the same para sa Pink na side kasi malaki din naman yung audience at lalo na yung mga kabataan na namumulat na.
Ang ganda ng point ni Sir Mark, kasi I think there's a huge difference when it comes to moral compasses. I think the other side is much more motivated to
By money.
by
Money,
by money to pursue that kasi incentivized nga siya. I don't think that the pink side doesn't know that. Alam nila, alam kong like may kita dyan for sure. But I think my goal, as idealistic as it may sound, is not really to get incentivized by doing what I do, but to really just use the platform that I was given. So I think I share the same beliefs maybe with Kuya Richard, sina Kuya Christian. Kaya din siguro may disparity in between dun sa dami ng DDS political content creators versus sa pink side as we call it.
Kasi hindi lang yun. I mean, the DDS trolls, karamihan are paid. Paid.
Merong mga paid pero marami din kasi
Nakakakuha from internet, yeah.
From AdSense lang eh.
Yeah, pero alam mo, I can tell kung the troll is paid or not. May iba, definitely may. So I always classify the DDS trolls as dalawa yan eh. Yung paid is yan yung parang original zombies. Tapos yung mga not paid, yun yung mga nakagat, tapos naging zombie, tapos hindi nila alam yung mga
Sumasakay na lang.
Sumasakay
Zombie
na
sila.
lang. Hindi na nag-iisip eh. And they're just out for blood eh, di ba? And they're always trying, wala na, kinain na yung utak nila eh, ganun. So, yun na nakikita kong pinagkaiban dalawa. Unlike sa
Sa pink na side. Nagigets
Yeah.
ko din. Ang punto ko lang din siguro, kasi to make it more sustainable at para mas dumami.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kasi syempre, yung iba, nakakapag-content sila, pero they do it on the side. Kasi meron silang day job, meron silang ano. So,
And I don't think there's anything wrong with making money when you do it. But if you're fueled by it, ang problema lang kasi makakalimutan mo na kung ano yung pinaglalaban mo. And biglang you're after the views, the hits.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
suddenly, hindi na...
you follow the views eh.
Yeah,
you follow
biglang
the...
Biglang genuine yung pinaglalaban
Oo,
mo
maging
in a sense,
sensationalize ka
yeah.
na lang
Exactly.
versus, hey, listen, I really just want to tell the truth. That's the mahirap na labanan yun, to be honest with you. And you have to learn to balance it.
Balance.
Oo.
Yeah.
Pag mabalanse mo yon, you're good. Kasi there's nothing wrong with earning from it kasi at least that way you can focus on it. Wala ka ng ibang inaabala. Ito na lang kasi you're incentivized but at the same time, as long as you maintain your authenticity and your independence.
Ako, I think where I draw the line from getting paid from what I do is maybe if I get the money directly from the videos that I create, like AdSense for example, that I would be okay with. Pero kung kunwari, galing mismo sa isang political figure, that's when it becomes disingenuous para sa akin. I don't know what your opinion is about that, pero as for me, that's where I draw my line. For
So
example,
I'm going to mention that kasi the reality of politics
Yeah.
is meron talagang press release.
yeah.
Meron, I mean, it's even before social media. The newspaper writers, mga editorials,
They get paid.
They're paid. I don't think that's even a secret, ano, di ba?
No, it's not.
There's even a budget and it's not illegal. Siguro like for me, this was an interesting topic that we were talking about din, ano, na ako, I understand that and I don't think it's wrong. As long as you believe in what you're saying.
Exactly.
Pero kung ikaw mismo, alam mong mali yan, pumapayag, tumatanggap ka dahil binabayaran ka.
Ginagawa mo siya dahil sa bayad.
Oo,
Instead,
oo. Pero kung alam mo, teka lang, naniniwala naman ako dito, pinaglalaban ko din to.
Yeah.
Sige, why not, di ba? Pero yun lang, as long as you stay true to that, and yun yung mahirap i-balance, yun lang.
Totoo.
Kasi yung iba, nag-hire na din ng ano eh. Minsan nag-hire na din sila ng staff para maging content creator para sa kanila.
Oh,
Yeah.
Diba? So, where do you draw the line there? Kasi parang kinuha ka. So, depende nga sa beliefs mo. Kung kukuha ka ng pera para lang sa dahil lang sa for the money's sake lang at malayo naman doon sa paniniwalaan mo. Pero, yun, I'm talking lang the whole ecosystem lang. Pati yung kay Risa din ang nangyayari. Kasi, definitely, yung kay Kibuloy, nagalit talaga sila doon sa mga exposés ni Risa and doon naman nagsimula hanggang ma-arresto siya and all that. So, I think ito yung sinusubukan nilang payback kay Risa. Kung ano mang ginagawa nila doon sa isang bumaliktad na witness na yon. Pero ako, tuwang-tuwa ako doon sa ginawa niya kasi she went back full force eh.
Yes.
Totoo. That's what I was saying kanina.
And
Nilabanan niya
she
talaga.
also said na kasi hindi lang ako yung naapektuhan
Even
dito,
my
pati
staff.
yung mga staff
Exactly,
ko.
yeah.
May na-reveal pala about sa staff niya na mga
Identities,
personal
yeah.
info. And kailangan mas maging accountable eh. Walang masama na may freedom of speech tayo, pero
Totoo yan, totoo
to be
yan.
accountable for what you say, kaya mong backupan yung sinasabi
Yes.
mo. And yun, and
Pero anong take mo dito na yun sinasabi nga nila na si Risa, was parang wanted to take out the cyber libel law tapos ngayon wine-weaponize daw naman niya daw. Hipokrita daw siya dahil dito.
Hindi, kasi yan pa rin yung existing law eh. Yun pa rin yung
Precedents.
yan pa rin yung law of the land eh. Yun yung sinusunod ngayon eh. I think maski ako maganda pa rin na ma-decriminalize yung cyber libel, pero hangga't hindi pa nagagawa yun, nandyan
Might as
yung
well
batas.
use it. Oh.
It's still the law of the land.
Safeguard and the safety.
Hindi naman to ginawa ni Senator Risa para lang dahil gusto niya makulong yung mga
Right.
vloggers na yun. She did this para hindi kumalat yung fake news, hindi kumalat yung panghaharas sa mga tao niya.
I think
Yun
it's a
naman yung
good
objective.
It's also a good message to send to the people that wants to do the same things. Na hey, I know you're gonna be doing this for the next 3 years, but here I am. I'm gonna stand my ground. And Kuya Mark did actually bring up a good point kanina that political vloggers from the other side are much more preemptive when it comes to things like this kasi they work in advance. For example, as soon as Lenny won the vice presidency nung 2016, they started working to demolish whatever credibility she will ever build leading up to 2022 kasi they knew that she was the biggest threat. Ngayon, I think we're getting a taste of that with Senator Risa na hindi na lang siya passive when it comes to fighting these problems, but she's actually sending a strong message to the people that's gonna do the same things kasi it's still gonna happen.
And what do you have to say na parang I'm going to try to play the devil's advocate here na
Love it.
kasi yung mga DDS trolls, sabi nila, bakit palaging DDS trolls na nasasampahan ng cyber libel? May gusto sumagot ba? O sasagutin pa ba yun? Bakit nga ba? Di ba palagi, bakit daw si Trixie na naman daw? Bakit daw sino po? Si Sas na naman daw.
Inaimbitahan sa TRICOM.
Oo.
Sila.
Lagi daw. Parang tina-target lang daw sila dahil DDS daw sila. Hindi daw dahil may ginawa silang mali.
Well, I think there's some truth to that. I believe that there's some truth to that. However, I think you can't really try and push the boundary or the threshold to what you can say and use the reason behind freedom of speech. And when you're held accountable for the things that you say, you cry foul.
Yeah.
Hindi naman kasi pwede yun. Kaya laging sila yung nalalagay sa posisyon na yun. Kasi sila lang naman yung gumagawa ng extent ng ginagawa nila.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, ako, I would say that it's not about political colors.
Yeah.
Like you said. Sila talaga kasi naman yung nagkakalat ng mga nun. And my God, I am now doing may gagawin na nga akong series na magde-debunk na lang ako kasi ang daming nababadrip na ako. Yung ginawa ko sa TikTok recently, ayoko ng patulan. Pero pinapatulan ko lang kasi kung hindi, lalong kakalat tong mga to eh. At saka talagang hindi ko alam kung bobo ba talaga sila or
Naniniwala talaga sila.
naniniwala ba sila o kaya alam nila na kasinungalingan to pero alam ko kasi na yung mga sumusuport sa kay Duterte maniniwala kaya gagawin ko na rin. That's the sad reality of this. And I feel bad kasi with Risa right now, Sen Risa, she's now being attacked na because I think they think she might run. Wala naman sinasabi si Sen Risa kung tatakbo hindi pero yun na, pero alam nila na baka to tatakbo, siraan na natin ngayon.
Preemptive
Ay
naman.
nako, sa akin that's really very destructive, but at the same time, there has to be a way to be able to combat that. And what Sen Risa's doing is exactly what all political figures should be doing.
Exactly.
Diba? Laban ka head on, file charges, and also with evidence. Resibo.
Resibo agad.
Kasi walang resibo yung isa.
Sa case nga ni Senator Risa, yung dahil wala nga matira sa kanya, they are parang nag-invent like yung PhilHealth.
PhilHealth.
Puro yun,
Oh,
di ba? Pero
God,
ilang beses na nasagot yun, ilang beses na. So kung hindi niya ginawa yung mga actions ngayon, baka may panibago na naman silang ihihirit sa kanya na ano.
Kasi I think this was a test of what she's gonna respond to.
Yeah.
Parang kasi, okay, PhilHealth, hindi niya gano'ng pinapansin. Pero sinagot niya na multiple times. Tignan natin kung ano pa
Yeah.
yung pwede nating stretch na katotohanan para makita natin kung kakagat siya. Kumagat. Pinatulan.
Oh, yari ka.
Yun yung nakakatawa doon na kapag hindi nagsasalita, guilty.
O duwag,
Kapag
takot.
duwag,
Oo.
pag pumatol, guilty.
Na parang pino-persecute mo naman ako,
Oo.
parang gano'n. Yeah. Victim mentality, palagi silang biktima no matter what ganun talaga.
can't really
So,
win with these people.
Yeah. Oh, we will. Yeah,
we
yan sa
will.
akin eh. So,
Yeah.
okay. But that's where I saw the war of words and how important it is sa magpakita ka ng resibo.
Yeah.
In the arena of gambling, yun yung isa kong nakikitang problema natin ngayon. Because that time was the time of Duterte. Now, I know some people may mga support si Duterte na sabi, ba't ko daw ginagawa to about Duterte? I'm not making it about Duterte. I'm just saying that all of the gambling did happen during the time of
during his
Duterte.
time, yeah.
Pogos.
Pandemic Pandemic din yun. Kaya
Everyone was inside the house.
No,
yeah.
because before the pandemic, the problems were happening 2020, 2021. The reasoning was always money. Nagge-generate daw ng malaking pera daw para sa
For the
gobyerno.
economy,
Oo.
yeah.
Yung argument na yun, nagbinigay ni Duterte na kaya ayaw niya iba ng Pogo, kahit na ang daming social ills ay dahil daw sa pera, marami daw kinikita ng gobyerno.
And kailangan natin at the time.
Kailangan daw natin.
Yeah.
Daw. Hindi natin kailangan yun, and that's
Exactly.
actually so easy to debunk, pero yun ang reasoning. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, ngayon kasi pinag-uusapan na sa Senate at binabanggit na ng mga ilang senador tulad ni Senator Zubiri na gusto na daw niyang ipaban ang online gambling or what they call online gaming. So
God.
what's your take on this, guys?
To be honest, I can't believe that it took us this long to talk about that problem. Kasi let's be perfectly clear, ladies and gentlemen, gambling ruins lives and families. I want to come from a moral standpoint. Siguro, I think the law and legal standpoint is very precise. Pero from a moral standpoint, if you look at it, before you had to go to a casino to gamble. You had to commute, you had to drive going there. But now it's literally at the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
Which
Isang pindot.
yung implication nun, ibig sabihin, even the common folk, minimum wage earner, tricycle driver, basta meron silang cellphone, meron silang access sa pagsusugal. So, not only is it anti-poor, it actively targets poor people if you think about it. Kasi, ang nakakalungkot dyan, dahil nga sa kakulangan ng kaalaman, they think, kala ninyo mananalo kayo sa sugal. Hindi. There's absolutely no winning in gambling. The house always wins. The house,
I'd rather be the casino.
I'd rather be the casino as well. Pero yung nakakalungkot na part dyan is that you would actually see where the government's priorities lie. Na at least ngayon, sige, bigyan natin sa kanila na binibring up nila yung conversation. But why did it take this long? Para makita natin na siguro to shift down a little bit, I interned for a rehab facility. And one of the worst stories that I heard were not from alcoholics, were not from narcotics, narco addicts, but from gambling addicts. Some of them did not want to go out of rehabs because they were drowned with 12 million in debt.
Oh my God.
Pag tapos na yung treatment nila and ayaw nilang lumabas, kuya. Kasi paglabas nila, it's either, alam na natin yon.
Oh,
para
wow.
mabayaran nila yun, magagambling sila ulit para bayaran naman yung malaking utang.
Or, papatayin sila.
Papatayin sila.
Papatayin sila.
So, okay. Ikaw, Mark, tingin mo, why did it take this long at tingin mo ba seryoso yung gobyerno na tatanggalin tong online gambling?
Yeah, definitely, I think some form of regulation mangyayari. Kasi sumobra na yung effect. Nakikita naman yung mga lumalabas sa Tulfo, mga lumalabas sa... yung isang effect nun, bukod doon sa naghihirap pa yung mga mahihirap na yung crime
Yeah.
Tumataas din yung crime dahil pag wala na silang pambaya, doon na sila mag-resort sa pagnanakaw,
Panguutang.
pangungutang, and yung iba, in worst cases, di ba, they would steal and break in sila sa mga bahay just to get money to pay off their debts. So definitely, I think magkakaroon ng regulation dyan.
Yan yung iba, minamalas din sila. Yung mga inutangan nila, masasamang tao din pala. Pag di sila nakabayad, another implication na krimen na naman yung mangyayari.
So one of the problems I think is or the dilemma is you're saying ban online gambling. What about live gambling, casinos? Tingin nyo?
Ako para sa akin, it's a lot better to just ban online gambling and then regulate live gambling. Kasi people or the audience, I would say, or the demographic that goes to casinos are much more filtered than, kasi cellphone lahat tayo meron yan Sino bang walang cellphone ngayon? Ultimo nangangalakal, kaya niya makabili ng touchscreen na cellphone, makakapagsugal yan. Pero yung bang nangangalakal, kaya, I don't wanna sound like classes or anything, pero in reality, yung mga nangangalakal o yung mga nasa laylayan talaga, hindi naman sila makakapasok basta-basta sa casino kasi para makapagsugal ka, may show money. Kailangan mong maglabas ng pera muna. Alam nila yung dala mong pera. that's why I think banning online gaming is much better than like banning live gambling. Kasi at least yun, easily filtered yung makakapasok doon.
Ang ano ko dito, take ko lang ay you're talking about accessibility kasi, 'di ba? You just want to minimize the access. Pero kung tinignan mo kasi even without the government regulating online gambling, may problema tayo ngayon with gambling na hindi regulated. Weteng. Weteng targets the poor. Pero ang sinasabi mo nga is you want to parang restrict the access to the poor. Is that what you're saying?
Not essentially. I think para sa akin, if we're solely talking about online gambling or online gaming, yun yung, generally speaking, lahat tayo merong kakayahan mag-access. Kesyo mayaman ka, kesyo mahirap ka, doon meron tayo lahat access doon. What I'm saying is, if they're gonna ban something immediately, that's what they should be banning. Kasi doon talaga
Malaki yung damage.
doon lumaga, not only from a financial standpoint, from poor people, rich people, middle class people, but also from like a moral standpoint as well. Na
Okay.
you can see it everywhere. You drive along the roads of EDSA, you see gambling being promoted. You watch YouTube, manonood nga ako ng podcast mo, yung ads.
Gambling ba yung ads?
May ads na gano'n, di ba? Tapos, manonood ka ng videos on TikTok, mayat maya, scroll mo. Yung gano'n, kasi online, everyone is on the internet.
Yeah.
Everyone is there, it's present. So, I don't think we can do much sa live, sa harap-harapang pagsusugal. Pero I think we can definitely do something on online gambling.
Sa wedding na wala namang nababaon ng utang sa kaka-wedding. Puro maliitan lang. Yan, unlike dun sa phone and sa ang lalaki talaga nung nawawala. Pero ang isa pang problema nga is yung influence ng mga gambling lords sa politika eh.
Yes.
Medyo malaki din eh. So isang challenge din yun na
Hinaharap ng mga...
naharap na para mag-regulation dyan sa industry na yan. Pero I think kita naman kasi sa nangyayari ngayon, magkakaroon talaga ng regulation dyan sa online.
Pero sa akin, at least ngayon, yun na nga, like, and several people have said it, and I think binanggit mo din yan before sa video mo, na dapat talaga palitan na ng gobyerno yung pangalan from gaming to gambling.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, yung, di ba, wag na yung,
Kasi we're trying to whitewash something
parang
that's...
lahat gaming. So when I'm playing Ragnarok or I don't know what the games are now, tapos when I'm nagsusugal ako sa casino, they're both gaming? No, guys, come on. Call it gambling. Ito gambling, ito gaming.
What I don't like about it is we're whitewashing something that should be considered very damaging. Okay, sige. Ang madalas na reasoning ng mga tao, nasa tao pa rin naman yan. Kung ma-addict ka, personal choice mo yan. But if you're surrounded by a community that's where gambling is accepted, it is accepted. It has become a social norm. Kahit sinong, paano ba to? Kahit saan ka pumunta, one way or another, 2 out of 10 people, they play sugal.
Right.
Di ba? So let's call it what it is. I think that's one good way to regulate it by calling it what it is. Kasi that sets the narrative straight na, okay, I play Mobile Legends, that's gaming. I play this, that's gambling. That's
okay.
important, di ba?
And what about yung mga influencers na nagpo-promote ng gaming? I mean, they get gambling. They get paid a lot. I mean, do you blame them? Or how do you paano natin i-reconcile yan?
Ako, sa totoo lang, I have very strong opinions about people promoting gambling. Kasi,
Maraming artista nagpo-promote ng gambling and malaki na nga kinikita nila tapos pumapayag pa sila dito.
yun nga kuya eh. Kasi
Oh.
para sa akin, at least man lang, understand that one way or another, meron kang pamilya na ako for example, I don't have much followers kahit pa meron ako mailan. Pero kung mag-promote ako ng gambling, makakuha ako ng isang maglalaro. Yung isang naglaro na yon, nalulong. That's on me.
Yeah.
You can't say na personal choice mo yan. Na ikaw yung nagpalulong dyan, nag-promote lang. No, that's on you. You with great power comes great responsibility. Power influences power. So one way or the other, you shape their mind into thinking that it's okay. You promoted it, they played it, they did wrong financial decisions. I'm saying that's on us. Diba? That's on us content creators na we should set the standard or the bar a little bit higher when it comes to accepting promotions like this,
Okay.
Diba?
So, sa mga artista at mga influencers dyan na kumita ng malaki, mga milyon-milyon.
ayun, paldo kayo, tapos yung mga,
Oh.
paldong-paldo kayo, tapos yung mga,
Yung mga natalo, balik niyo yung pera nila. Yun na lang ang magagawa niyo. Hindi naman yung kailangan ng extra money, di ba? Hindi na nila kailangan eh. Mayaman naman yung mga iba dyan. Malaki na kumikita. Bakit pa?
I saw this comment once on my TikTok, sabi niya, hindi kasi kapag tumanggi sila dyan, baka mawalan sila ng ibang project. Do you really need more projects?
Actually, when you accept a gambling site, mawawalan ka nung mga ibang projects.
Yeah.
Pag tinanggap mo yun.
Kasi nga malaki yung bayad.
Hindi lang yung kasi pag nakita ng isang...
Image.
Yeah.
They're
What-
particular
what I-
about that eh.
What I mean about that is, kaya nga willing nilang i-take yung gambling and ignore everything else. Kasi nga malaki yung bayad.
Na parang okay na kahit mawala na
Okay
yung
lang
iba.
kahit mawala na yan lahat. That speaks about how high they pay.
Right. Okay.
Marami kasing ano eh. Ako yun yung field ko talaga. Mga barkada ko din yung karamihan sa nagpo-promote ng ano. Ano kasi, minsan pag mahina na yung YouTube nila, pag mahina na kasi may life cycle kasi
Yes.
yung isang influencer.
Pag na-end stage na sila.
Oo nasa ano na sila eh. Kumbaga tapos na yung kasikatan nila. Pero may followers pa rin sila. So doon sila napupunta which doesn't justify it, di ba? Kasi yun nga dahil marami pa rin buhay ang ano. Pero yun yung nakikita ko na dahil gano'n. Pero ang nakikita ko diyan, parang sa ano sa smoking eh, di ba? Nagkaroon ng regulation yung government na hindi ka pwedeng mag-promote ng ganito, hindi ka pwedeng ano. So siguro gano'n din eventually yung
May tanong ako, Sir Mark.
magandang ilagay.
How do you, I want to know how you process. Kasi ako din, marami akong kaibigan from the industry na may promotion sila ng ganun. And honestly, I've been telling them off personally kasi sabi ko, tol, binigyan ka ng platform ng Panginoon. Sana naman ingatan mo, gamitin mo sa tama. Pero I don't really know how to navigate my emotions about it. How do you feel about it with your friends?
Paano nga ba?
I don't wanna put you on the spot, obviously.
Iniisip ko lang. Ako nag-promote ako ng very short time lang nung simula nung online sabog. Nung pandemic.
Yeah.
So, na-try ko din na ganun. Pero yun nga, nung lumabas na yung mga storya nung mga nasisirang buhay,
Yeah.
yung nababaon sa utang. So, syempre medyo nakonsensya din ako. Pero yung laki kasi nung pera eh. Siguro parang binablock off na lang nila yung mga negative na nangyayari. Sabi nila, sinabi ko naman, responsible naman, be responsible na Kumbaga, nag-ano naman ako they're reminding naman their audience na to be responsible in gaming. Pero yun nga, it doesn't excuse eh. So it's a talaga eh, morally questionable area talaga na na issue. Pero yun nga, kasi yung laki talaga ng pera eh.
Yeah, totoo yun.
Oo.
I think I was offered twice now. The offer was at least around 200,000 for one video.
Wow, just for a video,
For
ah?
a video, 200,000. Tapos sabi ko, 200,000, ilang gatas na ng anak ko yun.
Oo.
And that would set me up for like a year worth of milk supply. Pero naniniwala kasi ako, kaya naman mag-provide ng pinaniniwalaan kong Panginoon
Yeah.
sa mas mabuting paraan eh. Diba?
Yep.
Kesa, it's an active choice. As a content creator, ikaw kuya, di ba nanggaling ka din doon? Parang, it's an active choice for you to put your foot there. Na, okay, I am accepting this money. I'm gonna promote something that's morally questionable. Regardless of the implications, I'm out.
So alam mo sa akin, bottom line.
Sabi sa'yo, I feel
Yeah.
strongly about this.
When it comes to money, sa akin ganito yan eh. Pag tumanggap ka ng pera na parang shortcut, it's a shortcut to
Yeah.
make the money. You will lose in all incentives, motivation to earn the money the right way. And when that happens,
God, yeah.
compromise ka na talaga. Doon nag-umpisa yun eh. Corruption, everything. So, kaya umaasa ako dito na sana makinig si BBM doon sa call ni sa press ko na ginawa ni Senator Zubiri na iban ng online gambling. At kung ipapangalan mo na nga, call it gambling na wag na gaming. Para lang wala nang malilito kung ano ba to eh.
Call it what it is.
Pero gusto nga niya pa ban pati daw yung mga bingo. Hindi ko, I don't know. I don't know.
Napakalaking din nun. Napakalaking industriya din yung
Okay.
mobile na bingo na
Yung online. Okay.
Tinamaan nga yung mga yung mga local na na bingo sites ng mga mobile na.
Okay. So, and plus
Billion
kasi
din
ang
ang
problema
pinag-uusapan
natin,
dun.
ang problema kasi ngayon is with regards to gambling is, for example, legalized gambling is PCSO. Right? With the lotto, yung mga ganon. Pero ang daming kalokohan na nangyayari din sa PCSO. Lahat ng mga kalokohan, I don't know if you guys are aware of yung mga BS na nangyayari doon. Yung mga nananalo, mga random na biglang suddenly may nananalo every 2 weeks ng eksaktong 450,000. Every 2 weeks may gano'n. In-investigate na ito ni Raffy Tulfo before. And ay nako, dami akong issue dito pero maybe I'll talk about it in another episode na lang para full disclosure on all of what's happening in PCSO. Pero sa ngayon yun lang sabihin ko na I really hope na matanggal na to. And I hope marinig ni BBM yung call ng ni Senator Zubiri dito at maraming senators na are calling for this na. It's just that I heard him say it kanina on his press con. I wanted to ask you guys naman, the next topic that we have is regarding the Senate.
Okay.
Ayan, yung ating Senate ngayon. Kumusta ba yung ating Senate ngayon? How do you feel about the new senators coming in and with the fact na eto na, papasok na ngayon yung mga bagong senador as impeachment trial court judges. Yan. At nagkakaroon na sila ng mga kampo nila, mga blocks nila, and they're forming their alliances. Na Mark, ano tingin mo mangyayari moving forward now with Chis Escudero as still the Senate President and with regards to the impeachment?
Sa totoo lang, napafrustrate ako dun sa movement nung impeachment. Kumbaga, medyo pinanghihinaan ka din ng loob kung matutuloy pa ba yan o ano ba yan. Parang masyadong, yung ibang senator judges, parang masyadong takot o masyadong iniisip na paano kaya yung boto ko sa Mindanao, lalo na yung mga magre-re-election or tatakbo ulit sa 2028. O tapos, yung marinig mo pa, yung for the Senate presidency, kaya ina-accommodate na ganun. So sa totoo lang, sa impeachment at this point, ako okay kung matuloy pero parang meron pa rin, kumbaga tingin ko baka merong chance na hindi talaga siya
Na madidismiss?
parang ganun
Wow!
Na hindi matutuloy, na hindi talaga tayo pupunta sa actual na
The trial.
trial.
At the very best, I think if matuloy man, ma-acquit siya.
Acquit.
Yeah. Okay.
Pero kasi kung matuloy lang, kahit ma-acquit or that's still a big win kasi lalabas lahat ng mga
Yes.
ng mga ano. Pero sa totoo lang, sa mga senator judges ngayon, medyo na-frustrate nga ako kasi mukhang ganun yung nangyayari.
They're trying their very best to not push forward with the trial.
Okay. So, ito lang. Siguro, if any senator will hear this, sa akin, challenge sa mga senador dyan is watch out for you. Don't just look out for your own personal interest or your political interest.
political
At
gain.
look out for the interests of the country talaga dito. Pero sa akin, regardless of what, as long as the trial pushes through, I'm good.
Ako din.
Because, sorry wala na akong parang inaasahan sa ating mga senador ngayon na i-convict nila si VP Sara if based on evidence.
Yeah.
Kasi ngayon pa lang, hindi pa nga pinipresenta lahat ng
Naglalabas
evidence.
na sila ng desisyon nila.
Oo, pero may sinasabi nila na hindi daw nila i-convict. Teka lang, hindi mo pa nga alam. Pero with the given evidence pa lang so far, this is very telling. I mean, alam mo na sa akin lang, nakita pa lang natin, guilty talaga to si Sara Duterte from what I've seen so far. Now, pag lumabas pa yung bank records and everything, makikita ng taong bayan kung gaano ka guilty siya. So, senators, kahit kayo hindi nyo makonvict ang isang tao na mukhang guilty naman, taong bayan na magko-convict sa kanya at sa inyo.
Yeah.
You will be judged by the people. And I think the people will see that justice, this is about justice, not about politics. But I know that impeachment is a political exercise. But as a political exercise, please do not watch out for your political interests, but the interests of the country. That's how true politics should be played.
I think that's what they're trying to avoid, where they're put in a position na makikita ng taong bayan na magde-decide sila.
Yon.
Ayaw nilang malagay dun sa posisyon na, kasi parang if the impeachment proceeds, if the trial proceeds, there will be so many things that will be shown to the public.
Yep.
Obviously. And the court of public opinion is very, very strong. Ngayon, I wouldn't say na may pinoprotektahan sila or anything, pero I think pinoprotektahan nila yung magiging verdict nila. Kasi if the people find out whatever we see on the trial, kung ano man yung lumabas doon, and if it's perceived as bad by the narratives, by the people, by everyone else, and magde-decide ang mga senators against that narrative, dun masisira, kumbaga, yung nila, kagaya nga ng sinabi ni Sir Mark kanina na iniingatan ko yung boto ko sa Mindanao, iniingatan
Yes.
Pero dapat ding maging aware din dapat tuloy-tuloy lang yung pressure natin na matuloy yung impeachment trial, dapat iparamdam din sa kanila na takot ka mawala ng Duterte votes. Matakot ka din pag nawala yung youth votes sa'yo.
Yeah.
And yung mga, yun ang dapat iparamdam din. Na,
Totoo yan.
both ways din na sundan nyo na lang yung batas.
Yes.
Yan naman yung hinihingi Diba?
Ako, actually, kinakapa ko din yung sarili ko. Why do I want the impeachment trial to move forward? I just think it's very gutting to feel na kinakapa ko yung sarili ko kung gusto ko ba siya matuloy dahil I have strong opinions against what, VP Sara did, or dahil ba gusto ko talagang masunod yung Constitution. Kasi if the Constitution at the highest level of the Senate is not followed, that sets a very bad example for the common folk.
Yeah.
Kung sa Senado natin hindi nasusunod yung law of the land, how do we expect people to follow it as well? Diba?
Yeah. And impeachment is one of the last recourse that we have for accountability.
Yeah.
At yun ang nakakainis dito pag narinig ko yung mga ibang trolls diyan na sinusubukan nilang mag-paint ng picture of persecution na pinag-iinitan lang daw si Sara Duterte. Hindi yun pinag-iinitan kung walang basehan.
Yeah.
Sinisiraan ng tao kung walang
walang
basehan. Ito, may basehan tayo
Yeah.
May ebidensya, may pruweba na nagpapakita na, huy, may ginawang katarantaduhan tong taong to. Ano tayo, magpipikit mata, sabihin natin na, hindi, wag na, may iba tayong mas prioridad. Tulad ng sinabi ni Senator J.V. Ejercito recently na pag natuloy daw itong impeachment trial, mawawala daw ng oras ang ating Senado para sa mga economic priority bills daw.
Isa pa, it's a very common political tactic to divert people's attention away from what really matters. Para sa akin, we have 24 senators for a reason. You can't simply say na magfo-focus ka sa isa tapos yung isa mapapabayaan na. You can do both things simultaneously. Pwedeng gawin niya ng sabay. Bakit? Isa lang ba yung utak natin sa loob ng Senado? Pag inasikaso natin to, all functions go mute? O go mute? Wala na? Hindi na nagpo-function? No. That is a narrative that they are trying to set na if you care about the impeachment, you don't care about the economy. But we can care about the economy while we care about following the Constitution.
Yeah. So basically, may pagka-absolutism yung mindset ng mga, yun ang pinipaint nilang mindset na black or white dapat lahat. Pero actually, guess what? They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
You can have both
Exactly.
at the same time. And at saka ito lang idadagdag ko sa mga nagsasabi that pag tinuloy itong impeachment, magkakaroon ng parang economic sabotage, mawawalan doon ng investors. That's actually wrong. Because pag magkaroon ng impeachment na matuloy ito at makita ng mga investors that there is accountability against corruption, they will invest more in the Philippines rather than less. Pero pag nakita nila walang accountability
Lalo
that
nga
shows you
mawawalan.
that corruption is rampant, then mawawala talaga yung mga investors na yun, number one. Number two, when you talk about economic priorities, the running of the economic budget or the budget of the Philippines for the economy is run by the executive department, not by the legislative branch. They approve the budget, tapos na. Okay, so sa akin, yung argument ni J.V. Ejercito is just trying to, create this illusion that if you want this, you cannot have this. You can have both. And
We can have both. We
Yeah.
can have both.
pero tingin mo ba, Mark, at this point, sabi mo nga medyo nadismaya ka na, do you believe ba that, do you believe matutuloy pa ba itong impeachment?
Nagdududa ako. Pero
Ako din, medyo nagdududa ako.
siguro iniisip ko din ngayon kahit na merong pag-aagam-agam sa atin kung matutuloy o hindi. Tingin ko dapat tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ingay natin na
Yeah.
to do what's right Kasi
Yes.
we shouldn't let up yung pressure doon sa mga senador. Kasi ganun din naman yung ginagawa nung kabila sa kanila So dapat tuloy-tuloy lang na sundin nyo yung batas. There are political consequences kung i-railroad nyo din tong impeachment trial na to.
At least at the end of the day, we get to say that we did our part as citizens.
Right.
Regardless of the results, kung magka-result man to begin with, at least masasabi natin that we try to hold our officials accountable.
Okay.
Kasi we cannot just see politics as just colors and get on with our day. Kailangan natin siyang, kasi we try to uphold it with the people we support.
Yes.
We try to uphold it with the people that we criticize.
Right.
So, kailangan nating, yun nga, sabi ni Sir Mark, keep the pressure on. And if it does not continue, which I think, malakas yung doubt ko, kuya, na baka ma-dismiss siya. Sa totoo lang. Pero, it is what it is at the end of the day.
Hindi yung madidismiss. I made a bet with Ronald about this Hindi yung madidismiss. They're not gonna get the votes. especially if we put the pressure on.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's incumbent upon us, tayong taong bayan, na malaman ng ating mga senador na kailangan matuloy itong impeachment. Dahil mismo si Mig Zubiri, sinabi niya na hindi daw siya for impeachment. Sinabi niya dahil daw ang mga constituents niya sa Bukidnon, majority daw don't want impeachment. And I want to remind Senator Zubiri, you are a senator of the country. You're not a congressman of your district. Okay? May pinagkaiba yan. Ang taong bayan sa buong Pilipinas demand accountability. Ituloy mo itong impeachment na to, ha? And do what you have to do. Listen to the evidence and vote based on evidence for all the senators. Tanong ko sa inyo, guys. Moving forward naman to our next topic. Okay. Let's talk local government. Kasi maraming mga nanalo na relatively bagong mga mayors ngayon at maraming labanan ngayon at siraan sa mundo ng local politics. I'll start with yung nangyayaring siraan between si Isko Moreno, comparing him to Leni Robredo and the comparison with Vico Soto. Mark, you're the perfect candidate to talk about yung mga ganyan local politics. Anong take mo dito ngayon sa nangyayari with Isko Moreno?
Ito yung pinakauna kong sinabi. Instead of comparing them to each other, ba't hindi i-compare yung dalawa o yung tatlo to the rest of the mayors na hindi nagtatrabaho or nangungurakot lang o walang ginagawa. So yun yung sa akin. Pangalawa, naglabas yung mga meron kasing samaan ng loob from the 2022 elections. Because yung mga nagawa ni Isko nun and yung kay Lenny magkatapat sila. So nagigets ko naman yon. So may sama. Kaya nga masaya ako nung nag-meeting sila ni Bam Aquino nung the last week kasi kahit papaano medyo na
Reparation.
Oo, medyo na kasi definitely nagkaroon ng samaan ng loob yung mga nangyari nung 2022. Meron silang mga pino-point out. Siguro ang pinaka-point ko lang dito sa vlog ko about that, hindi kasi in as much as ideal yung kay Vico Soto na ganun yung prefer nung mga bumabatikos dun kay Isko, hindi kasi lahat ng area kayang gawing ganun eh. Hindi kayang, kumbaga, ang daming mga lugar, iba't ibang problema, iba't ibang mga issue, iba't ibang mga tao. So, different strategies, different way of for different areas. Isang example ko nga yung kay Sonny Trillanes eh. Na in as much as kita natin, meron tayong mahusay na kandidato, matino, hindi kurakot, magaling. Pero pagdating mo sa local, iba yung laro, iba yung laban, iba yung sa akin I'm happy na meron tayong Mayor Vico Soto na champion of good governance, pinakita niya kung paano Pero yung kay Yorme Isko, although hindi siya ganun ka-prefer ng mga ibang, at least nakikita natin yung mga problems ng Manila nasusolve niya unti-unti. Which affects the lives of many of the people doon on a daily basis. Yung sa pagkadugyot, sa krimen, tapos yung kakulangan sa classrooms, hospitals, ganun. So yun naman yung doon sa comparison nung kay Isko at nung kay Vico. Sa akin, mas maganda i-compare natin doon sa ibang mga mayors na hindi nagtatrabaho at hindi nagpapakitang gilas. Ako kasi mas prefer ko talaga, pareho ko silang gusto, pareho akong I identify as pro Isko and pro Vico na vlogger. Pero ang gusto ko kasi, mas gusto ko yung style na parating nasa social media. Gusto ko yung talaga araw-araw pinapakita ng ganun.
Right.
So mas gusto ko pag yung mga ibang mga mayors gumagayang ganun din, kasi para at least
Counted as resibo siya basically.
resibo nagpapakitang gilas Mas gusto ko yun kesa yung mga sinasabi nilang tahimik magtrabaho na hindi mo naman nakikita, hindi mo naman hindi mo naman alam talaga kung talagang may trabaho ba. At least yun, napipilitan silang magpakitang gilas, pinapakita yung mga improvements dun sa lugar nila and they are more accountable dun sa mga tao nila. Siguro less epal din, less ng need ng mga pangalan nila, malalaking nila kasi nakikita na sa social media yung trabahong ginagawa.
Okay. What's your thoughts about yung nangyari kay Isko na sabi nga niya na grabe, pagpasok ko dito may utang na 10 billion. Oh.
Yun. Nag-react na din ako dun sa kakahapon. I think kasi sinasabi nila bakit si Vico nung pumasok ng 2019, hindi naman niya binalikan yung mga Eusebio, ganun. Si Isko din naman, nung 2019, nung nanalo siya, hindi din naman niya binalikan si Estrada wala halos na narinig na ano na natira kay Estrada. And i-remind ko lang din si Mayor Vico ngayon nung speech niya last week o nung proclamation niya, winarningan niya yung ano, yung may utang na bilyon-bilyon sa which is
Basura.
corrupt, which is we believe is yung mga diskaya yung
Oo.
yung pinaringgan niya noon na ano. So sa case ni Mayor Vico, ano din naman doon nga yung 'di ba sinabi niya, huling term ko na to, di na ako tatakbo uli. So he will go after yung mga nakita niyang ano. So may ganun din naman sa case kasi ni Isko. Ibang level kasi yung ano yung sa 10 billion. Yung kay Estrada daw, nung pagpasok niya is walang pera yung syudad. Ito, yung kay Isko ngayon, pagpasok niya is negative pa. Hindi kasi yung ang difference kasi yung utang ni Isko na umabot ng 17 billion.
Yeah.
That is sa bangko.
Yes.
Payable in 10, 15, 20 years. Tapos yung mga structure, kita mo naman, nakaprogram yan sa budget ng syudad. Yung hindi nabayaran doon sa 10 billion na yun is yung mga basic utilities like garbage, kuryente, security guard, janitor, medicines. So hindi binayaran because of mismanagement. So naapektuhan talaga yung pagtakbo ng syudad nun. So,
Pero kasi yung dating sa akin ngayon was when Isko left, may iniwan siyang 17 billion na debt. Nabawasan na nga to 10, tapos umaangal pa siya, pero nanggaling naman sa kanya yung
that's
debt.
payable in 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
So
Pero parang sa akin, 'di ba, yun na parang sinasabi mo na bakit may utang na 10 billion? Galing sa iyo 'yan eh.
hindi, yung 10 billion hindi binayaran Parang kumuha ka
Hindi debt yung pinag-uusapan niya, pero utang sa mga suppliers.
suppliers obligation na overdue.
Okay.
Yung sa bangko, yung sa
17
billion, that is long-term debt sa mga bangko na binangga niya doon sa expected na rise na budget ng city from the Mandanas ruling. So yun yung explanation niya doon. If you want to believe that or kung ano, sa'yo yun. Pero doon niya ibabangga yung utang na yon na nakaspread. Kumbaga, nakaprogram siya doon sa budget. Yung hindi nabayaran, is, for example, kumuha
Yung garbage daw.
Garbage. Kumuha ng 2 supplier nung January, binayaran lang nung unang buwan, yung 5 buwan, hindi binayaran. So, that's not the right way to run a city kasi yung mga obligations, ang daming overdue. Pag hindi mo binayaran yung, kahit saan naman, hindi mo bayaran yung Meralco, yung mapuputulan ka.
Yeah, okay.
Nagkaroon tuloy ng garbage crisis. So, yun. Siguro in a way, ito yung tingin ko din kasi in a way, siguro medyo din si Isko kasi siya yung nag-endorso dito kila Lacuna. To begin with Tapos, siguro he was expecting na iba yung naging direction. So, siguro, it's being accountable din sa mga tao in a way kasi siya din, partido niya yun Doon siya nanggaling din So he was the one who endorsed yung grupo nila tapos umabot sa ganyan na problema. Yun.
Pero ano tingin ko, well, at least nakikita ko na, he's cleaning up Manila again kasi naging madumi na nga ulit Manila for me. And ako, I like the fact na yung mga ganun, yung cleaning up the streets at hindi ka bumibigay lang sa mga vendors dahil, nakakaawa yung mga vendors pero naawa ka din sa lahat ng mga Manilenyos na, kailangan malinis at clear yung mga kalsada at yung mga sidewalks para magamit ng mga tao. So, I'm in favor of that. Although I do think that may pagka-grandstanding kasi si Isko paminsan-minsan Good and bad. Good and bad. Kaya for me, the jury's still out on Isko. For me, tingnan natin what he's gonna be capable of. I don't like the fact na nakita ko sa kay Isko ngayon, may pagka-vindictive siya ng konti. Parang may binigyan niya ng warning si Joel Chua, Congressman Joel Chua, na nananalo lang, na biglang sinabihin niya na, andito na ako ngayon. Parang may mga ganun siyang mga banat na naku-curious ako
I think, excuse me, if we're talking about stark differences when it comes to Mayor Vico and Mayor Isko, okay, ang ayoko kasi sa mga politicians like Mayor Isko is that when they leave, the system of governance that they have set leaves with them.
Right? Walang legacy.
Well, it's not just legacy, kuya, but it's more like
Right,
institutionalization.
yeah.
Yun yung problema. I think that's what I love about Vico. Kasi kahit papano, sabi nga niya, so I quote, mas mahirap nang gumawa ng masama once he leaves. And I think given the promises that he's given for the past how many years has he been?
Ano na?
Going 9 years.
Yeah.
Going 9
Yeah.
years. So.
For the past 6 years, everything that he has said, he has done. So, kunwari, for example, kahit yung sinasabi niyang hindi siya tatakbo ng higher position, I believe he's not gonna run.
Yeah.
Kasi he remained consistent to everything that he has said. Tapos ngayon, nagkakaroon na sila ng sistema na kahit papano, if I was in the shoes of Mayor Vico, panatag ako nga alis. Kasi alam ko, yung sistemang nasa etap ko while I was there, it's gonna remain. So I guess, okay, great. We can see changes while Mayor Isko sits in office. But how can it be sustainable? That's where my qualms begin. Kasi
Challenge dun.
Yun yung challenge doon. Kasi if ang mahirap dyan, ang hirap i-dispel ng notion na baka meron lang siyang higher political gain kasi it showed in 2022. So he was performing really, really well
Right.
2019 to 2022 and then he ran.
Yes.
Right? So that's another mayor to president trope na ang hirap hindi i-question ngayon na nakaupo siya ulit tapos he's doing kagaya nga na sinabi mo parang grandstanding na is he not doing this for future purposes again. While I do give the credit to him na kapag nga siya yung nakaupo, umaayos. Okay, umaayos. Pero paano naman pag hindi siya yung nakaupo?
Okay.
Yun yung
Yung challenge nga doon.
And what about sige, let's look at naman si Mayor Lenny. Oh, Mayor Lenny naman kasi he's also being compared yung style ni Mayor Lenny. Oh. Ano tingin mo naman yung okay kay Mayor Lenny compared kay Isko, and do you think that there are things that people are overlooking kasi may mga nagsabi naman, tamo si Isko at least action. Si Lenny may mga pinepresenta dito pero may nagawa ba siya talaga? O tingin-tingin, all papaganda lang daw pero wala naman daw action.
Ako hindi, malayo kasi yung Manila sa Naga totally different in terms of mga problems, in terms of budget, in terms of yung culture and history and all that. So definitely iba yung sa budget pa lang ang layo ng budget ng
Yes.
Manila.
Yeah.
Definitely mas maraming magagawa sila Yorme and sila Mayor Vico. Yung syudad nila alalaki ng budget doon kay Mayor Lenny. Pero ako excited ako kay Mayora Lenny kasi pag mga I call them rockstar na mayors. Kasi yung kanyang clout, yung kanyang influence, 'di ba nung last elections lahat ng senators pupunta sa kanya,
Yes.
they're asking for her
para
endorsement.
siyang seal of approval.
O seal of approval. And definitely magagamit yan for Naga Mas madali Mas madaling, syempre yung mga senators na yan, they control the budget, mas madaling makalambing for the city of Naga. So,
Yeah.
definitely, I think, yung the next 3, 6, or 9 years, kung how long Mayora Lenny will stay there, would be a great time for Naga's growth and Naga's redevelopment. Plus, idagdag mo pa yung main principles na nagsimula doon sa kanyang husband, kay Jesse, yung chinelas
Chinelas politics,
na mentality doon sa pamumuno. Ayun, excited ako doon sa mga projects niya na pinesent sa isa. Yung sa Esplanade. Kasi if you've been to Iloilo lately, 'di ba? Yung Esplanade
yes.
nila ang ganda, 'di ba? So I think
What's Esplanade, Sir Mark? Can you
sa river. Have you seen yung ginagawa nila sa Pasig
Yes.
sa likod ng
Yeah.
So yung concept na yon unang nagawang maganda sa Iloilo. So they redeveloped their riverside.
Yeah.
So inalis yung mga informal settlers, ginawang park. So yung buong riverside nila, pwedeng mag-jogging yung mga tao.
Wow.
Tapos ang daming mga establishments, ang daming mga similar doon sa ginagawa ngayon sa Pasig.
Wow.
So I think they will also do the same sa Naga kasi it revitalizes the whole city.
Yes.
Kumaganda talaga yung buong syudad kapag yung riverside napapaganda mo. And at the same time, dahil walang mga informal settlers sa tabi ng river, yung cleanliness ng river, mas naaalagaan and tourism, and it adds din dun sa economy. So doon ako excited sa mga gagawin niyang projects aside from dun sa mga ibang pinesent niya doon.
Parang chance talaga kasi ni Mayora to para magpakitang gilas on a local level. Kasi
Yeah.
'di ba, laging bati ko sa kanya, wala naman siya local experience. Executive, 'di ba? So I think it's a great in terms of optics. We got Mayor Vico on Pasig, we got Mayor Benji on Baguio, we got Mayor Lenny on Naga nakikita ng mga common folk na what's the clamor all about? Bakit excited yung mga tao para sa mga cities na to? At least kahit papano, ang sinasabi nila, puro plano naman, wala pa naman alam ka naman mangyari yun in that first 24 hours. Kesa naman yung pag-upo, wala silang pinipresent na plano. Kasi kahit naman si Mayor Isko, pagpasok niya, plano agad pinakita niya.
Yeah. Plano naman tayo. You have to plan first
You have to
naman.
plan first. Here's what I'm gonna do. And he did.
Yeah.
And he did so. Di ba? And one of the things that I'm very excited is yung no tolerance to corruption policy niya na that really shows where the priority is. Di ba?
Yeah.
And makikita mo agad kung sino yung mga politicians na agree or disagree doon. Agad, filtering process na yun eh.
Right, okay. And plus, tingin ko naman ngayon yung mga mayors natin. I'm a little bit more hopeful about politics that I see naman in the local governments na marami din namang matitino dyan.
Yeah.
I think meron pa rin mga hindi, pero mas mga, like for example, Quezon City, Mayor Joy Belmonte, I think she's doing a really good job.
Yeah. The growth, no? The
And mas very pro-business sila eh. So nakikita ko talagang they're trying to support business and
Kasi
everything.
yung yung right to partnership, yung pag sa LGBT, di ba?
Yeah.
Yung right to care.
Yes, so
Which is,
Right to care bill,
sa QC. Hopefully, ano din sa national and sa
Mahawa,
mga iba't ibang
Yeah.
cities din.
yeah, so
Kasi seeing Mayor Joy come from being generally hated last pandemic
Yes.
to be generally well loved ngayon.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that there are types of politicians na ganun, na willing to take accountability. Dapat ganun naman kasi in politika.
Yes.
Okay, here we are, you're citizens. This is what we don't like. Don't kill us. Huwag mo kami patayin
Right.
kapag sinabi namin yung hindi namin gusto because we don't mean no harm. We want the best. We all want the best for our
Yes.
country, and it's not mutually exclusive that if we say something that's critical in nature, hate ka na namin. Kailangan kasing mabalik, yung pinag-usapan natin last episode ko yan, na kailangan nating mabalik dun sa mindset na we can openly talk about these things and let them be considered as room for growth and improvement.
yes.
Kaya shout out po.
Ako
Mayor
naman,
Joy.
medyo mas may negative look ako in general sa mga LGUs. Kasi para sa akin, bukod dun sa mga nasabi natin na mga pangalan, bukod dun sa mga nasabi mo na pangalan, yung average, yung mga normal na mga LGUs natin is still a family business. Yung
Political
people-
dynasties.
merong maayos
Meron naman.
na dynasties na nakikita mong sana lahat ng dynasties ganon, pero ang daming dynasties pa rin na the way they hold on to power. And ang problema ko, yan din ang rason kung bakit sa Congress, kung ano yung sabihin ng presidente, sunod lang ng sunod yung lahat ng mga congressman, ng mga kasi they are looking after yung kanilang baluarte sa nila, that they remain in power, para tuloy-tuloy yung family business.
Do you think there's a chance na magkaroon tayo ng anti-political dynasty?
No.
Wala talaga.
Wala. Kasi the very Congress that will pass this or vote for it are the very ones that are going to be that their income will be affected. Matatanggalan sila ng kita kaya sila mismo hindi sila papayag doon.
Ako ang tingin ko dyan, ang pwedeng gawin is baby steps muna, unti-unti. Hindi yung outright na walang dynasty kaagad. Kasi definitely tututo lang karamihan.
Siguro looking into generations, no? Yung
Sa akin yung ang misis muna eh. Yun na lang muna. Sa akin,
Bawalan lang yung misis mo.
bawalan yung misis tumakbo.
Kahit yun lang.
Kahit yun lang muna.
So yung
Yun
iba
lang
muna kahit meron
Kasi
pa.
kahit tumakbo yung kapatid mo, kahit tumakbo yung anak or tatay, minsan may sarili pa rin isip yung
Yeah.
Yung, di ba, makita mo naman sa Makati, magkaaway sila magkapatid.
Yeah.
they don't necessarily share the same political
Yeah.
beliefs.
Oo,
Yeah.
Even mga ehersito, gusto mo nag-away-away.
nag-aaway.
The good one.
The good and the
pag
bad.
misis mo, isang kwarto lang, isang kama lang kayo. Isang kwarto lang kayo. Kayo din yun eh.
Tama,
Kayo din
tama,
yun eh. So,
okay.
ako, nung tumakbo ako nung last, yun ang isang inaano ko. Simulan natin doon muna na ibawal yung misis yung tatakbong next. At least unti-unti.
Okay, pwede.
konti-konti.
Pero at the same time, kasi yung pinag-uusapan kasi with regards to political dynasty law is not literally succession din eh. It is the dominance. So for example, ikaw mayor, yung asawa mo, congresswoman,
Congresswoman.
tapos yung
Anak mo,
pinsan mo o kapatid mo ay party list, tapos councilor, tapos barangay chair. Yun yung dynasty na
yung-
sinasabi nila na. Pero kung sabihin natin na
They're wrong to
succession,
limit. Paano nila ililimit?
I think-
ba yun?
yun ang sinasabi nila na pag kunwari you're in Congress, hindi ka pwede magkaroon ng governor in the same district or area.
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously,
Yeah.
ganon. Yun yung pinaglalaban lang ngayon
I
na
think that
isa
would
lang.
be a good step forward. Ako, para
din
sa
yan.
akin, kung magkakaroon man ng, kasi parang realistically speaking, parang malabo naman talagang mawala yung mga yan. I think if magkakaroon man ng law against it, at least man lang wag silang magsabay-sabay. Like, bigyan nila ng gaps in between yung pag-ano nila.
Yeah. So,
Pamumuno nila.
yeah, I think, but we remain hopeful kasi yung pagpasa ng political dynasty law is as likely as corruption being gone in the Philippines. Di ba? Ando doon na yun eh. Parang parte na yun ng buhay natin. Pero of course, hindi ibig sabihin susuko tayo doon because alam ko yung mga kongresista na papasok ngayon ay nagpa-file. If I remember correctly, the Kabataan Party List has already filed an anti-dynasty law.
Yeah, they did.
At along with Bayan Muna, if was it Bayan Muna? I don't remember. Basta may kaano sila doon, kasama doon, with the Makabayan Bloc. And also, sina ML Party List with Congresswoman Laila De Lima is also planning to file din if in case yung sa Kabataan Party List na bill is not taken up in Congress. So hopefully, guys,
Sana, no?
mangyari yun.
Sana gumalaw man lang yung ano.
Oo. At least that's a step
And
in the
magkaroon
right
ng national
direction.
debate about
Oo,
it. Kasi
mapag-usapan ulit.
parang normalized na lang eh. Parang normal na lang na ano. At least mapag-usapan
Standard
ulit.
procedure na eh.
Yeah.
Na-
Pero kasi the thing is, the political dynasty issue is already in the Constitution eh. Yun na nga, kaya nakapagtataka na nasa
Enabling
Constitution.
ano na
yun.
lang, no?
Yeah, enabling law, hindi lang magawa-gawa eh. Pero andyan na yun, matagal na. So,
There are areas, for example, yung kay Lenny na lang nga, diba? Of course, sa Naga, optimistic tayo. But if you look doon sa buong province, it's the same family for the last 3 or 4 decades.
are you talking
Hanggang
about
apo na.
the Villafuertes?
Of the Villafuertes na doon sa probinsya. So, yun ang reality ng politika sa bansa ngayon na magandang hanapan ng solusyon kung paano unti-unting maano.
Ayun. And with that, salamat sa inyong dalawa sa pag-share nyo ng mga opinion nyo sa mga nangyayari sa mundo ng politika. And guys, kung gusto pa nyo matuto at tumalas pa inyong pag-iisip, sundan nyo sila sa kanilang social media. Gabe, what's your social media on TikTok?
It's Gabe.talks on TikTok, Gabe Pineda on Instagram and Facebook.
O yan. And Mark, sa'yo naman, ano
Sa
yung
YouTube,
socials?
Models of Manila TV.
Yun, kasi model si Mark. Yan. Sige, salamat sa inyo lahat. At pag gusto nyo yung mga ganitong klaseng content, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at click mo na yung notification bell na yan para ma-notify ka sa akin susunod na video. And pag may mga comments kayo, agree or disagree sa amin, sulat lang nyo sa comment
You're
section.
welcome.
Yeah, and I will welcome all opinions. Pag mang-insulto kayo, bahala kayo. It says more about you than me.
Sayang yung data at internet kung insulto lang yung sasabihin.
Oh, okay. Salamat sa inyo lahat. This is Kristan with my guest today, Gabe and Mark. We'll see you on the next video.
Bye.